University of the South Pacific continues to play a significant role in educating Pacific Islanders on the importance of the environment and its link to the survival of Pacific communities in the face of climate change. As a leading education institution in the region, USP continues to embark on important projects aimed at protecting island countries and its ecosystems. One of such initiatives involves the maintenance and rehabilitation of the mangrove ecosystem in Fiji and the Pacific. This role has been heavily promoted by the School of Marine Studies under the Faculty of Science, Technology and Environment at USP. Through its outreach program, the School of Marine Studies is assisting local communities in the replanting of mangrove seedlings and its maintenance, as well as educating them on its importance in safeguarding the marine environment. Among those who continue to educate students on the importance of mangrove ecosystem is Dr. Stuart Kinninmonth, Senior Lecturer at the School of Marine Studies. He explains why the mangrove ecosystem is important to the environment in light of ongoing climate change discussions.
A group of species because they are the interface between land and the marine environment. So one of the key aspects in the climate change debate has been how the marine environment's going to change and how the land's going to change. But mangroves are in that interface. They're the ones that connect up for most of the Pacific, for instance, or certainly the tropics anyway. They connect the marine environment up with the land environment. And so the health and the status of the marine environment, but also the mangroves, is really going to be determined by how healthy and how strong they are, because they provide so much habitat for fish, but they also provide a lot of land-based activities like wood, ecosystem services for people, but also just how they interact with the land-based different activities like agriculture.
Apart from providing a safeguard for communities against the perils of climate change, mangroves itself are not spared from impacts of climate change, as Dr. Kinmonth highlights.
There's been a big die-off in many parts of the world where mangroves have basically inexplicably died for no real apparent reason. And it looks like most of the problems are to do with temperature, which then affects salinity. And then it's about the mangroves dealing with a changing environment. So the increase in temperature means that the mangroves then have to do a range of different activities with their leaves, which allows them to do respiration and photosynthesis, and that allows them then to grow or not to grow. So climate change is going to have an impact on mangroves, partly through temperature, partly through rainfall changes, and also sea level change would be the biggest short-term problem.
Dr. Kinninmonth says the School of Marine Science has been involved in the replanting of mangroves around Fiji, and it has been a success with participation from people of all walks of life.
The mangrove planting has been very successful, partly because it's a very low skill. So it means you can get young school children, to older people to basically plant mangroves. And as long as it's done in the right location with the right species and the right time, it's normally very successful. So then people feel a sense of pride and a sense of attachment to those mangroves because they feel like they're responsible for their growth and recovery. The biggest issue though, it raises awareness. And so the really big reason why we should continue with mangrove planting is that the people that are involved become very aware of the issues with mangroves and the reason why we need to maintain them and keep them going. And that's actually almost more important than actually planting the actual mangroves.
Third-year marine science student Choeli Wanganivalu says he has been involved in the planting of mangroves in his time with the school and that there are benefits into the communities.
Mangrove plant plays an important role in the ecosystem. It helps to prevent soil erosion. Second, it harbors and habitat for most of our resource, and also As it known, mangrove plays an important role in a carbon print where it helps to absorb carbon dioxide. I want to be part in mangrove planting to help to tell the leaders and change the world in our future generation.
Apart from the initiative taken by the School of Marine Science in educating the public about the importance of mangroves, the USP Student Association Federal Office has also seen the importance of this undertaking. In August, the USPSA Federal marked its 10th year anniversary by organizing a mangrove planting initiative along the My Suva Park area in Nasese. Secretary General of USPSA Federal Emosi Lesi Vakarura says that the impact of climate change is real in Pacific Island countries, and as such, it is important that student leaders seize the importance of mangrove planting.
We are conscious of climate change and the importance of getting sustainability. And in our quest to do that, we have asked the president of the 14 campuses, USPSA in the 14 campuses, to come over with us to come and do some planting of mangroves, which we believe will help out in this climate change issue.
He says that the federal office has big plans for the future, and one of it is to extend mangrove planting to its 12-member countries student association in the near future.
In our transformative plan, it doesn't only talk about Nogala, it talks about the 14 campuses, 3 in Fiji and 11 out there in the region. What we do here today is just the beginning of other similar activities within the region, within the other 13 campuses.
In light of pressing development aspirations of countries in the region, especially in tourism and other infrastructure projects, Dr. Kinin Month points out that people need to stop and think about the importance of mangroves and why it should not be disregarded.
So what needs to be done is, first of all, we need to value the mangroves as a system that's worthy of protection. At the moment we don't really. They're kind of in the way. We move them out of the way to get access to the marine environment. We happily clear them to put in a channel or something. We need to stop doing that. The second one is we need to start to think about how we treat them in terms of their capacity for rubbish collection, that sort of thing. So there's been a big push to try to remove or clean up mangroves essentially, so that they're not full of rubbish and debris and the other one like boats and things like that. The other big one though that's really starting to surface is trying to stop mangroves becoming the area where a lot of nutrients get trapped. So for instance, sort of farming generates a lot of runoff from fertilizers and other things, and that tends to get trapped in the mangrove system, particularly where it's a delta like the Rewa River, where it goes out into this very large delta system, and it traps all the fine sediments that have got all the chemicals embodied within those fine particles. And we've got to stop doing that. We've got to look after our rivers, and we've got to look after the mangroves to keep them nice and healthy, so they can continue to look after the coastal environment.